It started with a buzz. Not mine. I was sitting on the 86 bus heading home from another mind-numbing Tuesday when I heard it, a soft vibration under my seat. At first, I thought it was my own phone, but when I checked, nothing. Then I saw it, wedged between the seat and the side panel, barely noticeable except for the flash of light from its screen. A phone. Black. Cracked corner. No case. I hesitated, glancing around. The bus was half empty. Nobody seemed to be searching for it. I picked it up. The lock screen showed a missed call from him. 10 minutes ago. I debated handing it to the driver, but something stopped me. Maybe it was curiosity, or maybe boredom disguised as purpose, but I slipped it into my bag and got off 3 stops later, heart beating faster than it should have been. At home, I plugged it in. Dead battery. While it charged, I tried not to imagine all the possibilities. Maybe someone left it accidentally. Or maybe, and this was the part that made me feel stupidly dramatic, maybe someone dropped it on purpose. 30 minutes later, it lit up. No passcode. Just a swipe to unlock. I froze. The wallpaper was a photo of 2 people, 1 woman, 1 little boy, laughing in a park. Autumn leaves, warm sweaters, wide smiles. It felt oddly intimate. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. I checked recent messages. Most were from him and Leah Yellowheart. One thread caught my eye. From a contact named Unknown, a string of 3 messages, all from the day before. Still waiting. You promised. And finally, last chance. I scrolled further, but the thread ended there. No replies. No other context. Then I checked the voicemails. There was only one. From 2 nights ago. I put it on speaker. A shaky voice said, "I don't know if you'll even get this, but I'm scared. Please, don't let him find me." I didn't sleep well that night. I kept hearing that voice. So raw, so close, like someone whispering in the next room. The next morning, I stared at the phone like it might suddenly explain itself. Instead, it buzzed. One new message. From M. "I saw you." Just 3 words. I froze. My first instinct was paranoia. Had someone tracked the phone? Was M watching? Then reason kicked in. Maybe they meant someone else. Still, it was unnerving. I typed a reply, but stopped. What would I say? "Hi, I'm a stranger who found this phone, and now I'm wrapped in what feels like a crime thriller." I deleted the draft and opened the photos. There were hundreds. Mostly of the woman and the boy. Sometimes with others, but always them. Parks, beaches, birthdays, school plays. The last photo was taken 3 days ago. They were sitting on a bench eating ice cream. She looked tired. He looked distracted. In the background was a man. Out of focus. But something about his posture made my stomach knot. I zoomed in. He was watching them. I couldn't see his face clearly, but he was leaning forward, just enough to make it feel intentional. I backed out of the photo, heart thudding. Then the phone rang. The screen flashed private number. I let it go to voicemail. A new message appeared within seconds. I listened. A different voice this time. Male. Low. Calm in a way that didn't feel calm at all. "If you have her phone, return it. This isn't yours." No name. No number. Just that. I turned the phone off and buried it in the bottom of my dresser drawer. But even with it off, it was like it hummed. The kind of silence that isn't really silent. That night, I dreamed of running. Not from anything, just running. But I kept looking over my shoulder. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in years. I called in sick. I needed time to think, to decide whether I was being paranoid or genuinely walking into something real. I retrieved the phone, still off, and stared at it. I knew I couldn't just ignore it. I wasn't built that way. I turned it back on. This time, I opened the Notes app. There were dozens. Most were shopping lists, kids' schedule reminders, fragments of thoughts. But one stood out. It was titled, "If Anything Happens to Me." I hesitated, then opened it. It read, "My name is Elise Carter. If someone finds this and I'm not around, please know this wasn't an accident. I've been followed. Watched. I thought it was in my head, but it isn't. I have copies of everything. If you want to help, look for the green envelope in the back of the closet. Tell my sister." No last name. No location. No instructions beyond that. But it felt like a call to action. I checked her contacts. No sister listed. I went back to the messages. Scanned for anything that hinted at family. Leah. The one with the heart emoji. Maybe. I clicked the thread. The last message from Leah said, "Call me the moment you get this. Please." I replied, "This is not Elise." I found her phone. I don't know where she is. The message turned green. Sent. I waited. 10 minutes passed. Then my phone buzzed, my own phone. A new number. Text only. Where are you? I replied cautiously. Who is this? Immediate response. I'm Leah. Elise is my sister. Please. Where did you find her phone? I told her. The bus, the time, the stop. Her reply chilled me. That's not her route. She never takes that bus. Leah asked to call. I hesitated, then typed. Can we meet somewhere public? She agreed instantly. We settled on a coffee shop 2 blocks from my apartment. Neutral, bright, full of witnesses. I got there early, phone clutched tight in my hand like it might vanish if I let go. Leah arrived 10 minutes later. Late 20s, maybe early 30s. Worn hoodie, tired eyes, the kind of face that looked like it hadn't slept properly in days. She didn't bother with pleasantries. You found this? She asked, nodding at the phone. I nodded back. Where's Elise? Her voice cracked. I don't know, I said honestly. But I think something happened. I handed her the phone. She didn't unlock it, just held it like it was made of glass. I told her to leave him, she said suddenly. Months ago, she wouldn't. She kept saying it was fine, that he was just stressed. I didn't have to ask who he was. She kept talking. He used to show up places. She'd be at the grocery store, and suddenly there he was. Coincidence, he'd say. He made her feel crazy. He was good at that. I listened, unsure what to do with my hands, my breath, my instinct to run. Do you know about the envelope? I asked. Her head snapped up. She told me once, if things got bad, there would be something hidden. But I thought she was being dramatic. She wasn't. I told her about the note in the phone, about the closet. Leah's face paled. It's got to be at her apartment, she whispered. But I don't have a key. He changed the locks last month. I blinked. You mean her boyfriend? Ex, she said sharply. Or at least, he was supposed to be. I swallowed hard. So what now? She looked at me, really looked. We get in. Tonight. It was the kind of plan that sounded simple in movies and awful in real life. But when she said it, I nodded. Because somewhere along the way, this wasn't just Elise's story anymore. It was mine too. We waited until just past midnight. Leah knew the building, an old 2-story walk-up with a cracked buzzer and windows that always looked fogged from the inside. Elise's unit was on the 2nd floor. We crept around the back, using the alley trash bins to climb up to the fire escape. The kind of move I'd have laughed at last week. Not tonight. Leah moved like someone who'd done this before. She jimmied a window with a flathead screwdriver from her bag. I used to sneak in through her bathroom in high school, she said with a half smile. Nothing new. The window gave with a pop, and we were in. The apartment smelled like old coffee and something faintly sweet, like vanilla and dust. I flicked on my phone flashlight while Leah whispered, "Closet." We found it in the bedroom. Small, jammed with jackets and boots and a storage box labeled Halloween. Back of the closet, I muttered, remembering the note. Leah reached behind a folded comforter and gasped. A green envelope. We froze. Then she opened it. Inside were 3 things: a USB drive, a single photograph, and a typed page. Leah's hands trembled. The photo was of Elise and the boy again, but this time, there was bruising on her wrist, partly hidden under a sweater. The typed page was a journal entry. It began, "If you're reading this, I'm probably gone." I felt the floor shift. The USB drive sat heavy in my palm. Leah looked like she might crumble. "What's on it?" I whispered. She didn't answer. She just whispered, "Let's go." We slipped back out through the bathroom window. As we climbed down, a porch light flicked on 2 houses down. We ducked. A man stepped out. Tall. Still. His head turned toward us. I couldn't see his face, but I didn't need to. I knew. He saw us. And he smiled. We ran. Not gracefully. More like kids caught TPing into a house. We didn't stop until we were 2 blocks away, hunched behind a parked SUV, lungs heaving. He saw us. I gasped. Leah didn't speak. Her eyes were wide, wild. I checked the time. 2:11 a.m. We need to see what's on the drive. She nodded, still breathless. My place, I offered. No one knows I'm involved. She didn't argue. At my apartment, I booted up my laptop, praying it wouldn't crash or do a surprise system update. Leah sat on the couch, the envelope clutched to her chest like a shield. I inserted the USB. 1 folder. Do not ignore. Inside were 12 video files, each with a date. They spanned nearly 6 months. She recorded him, Leah whispered. The first video opened to Elise sitting on her couch, whispering into the camera. This is just in case. He thinks I'm paranoid. Maybe I am. But I keep hearing footsteps outside. And today, my car door was open. I know I locked it. The second video showed Elise with the boy. She said his name, Tyler, for the first time. In each video, she seemed smaller, less vibrant. Her eyes darted constantly. The fourth video showed a shadow outside her window. The seventh showed her holding up bruises. The 10th, this one made my blood run cold, was filmed in a closet. He's here, she whispered. He doesn't know I have this running. The screen shook. Footsteps. Then a bang. Then nothing. I stopped it. Leah was crying silently now. He's going to come looking, she whispered. He knows someone has this now. I looked at the final video, dated 2 days ago. I clicked it. Elise was back on screen, sitting in her car. I'm leaving this in my phone. If someone finds it, please, give this to Leah. Tell her to finish what I couldn't. Tell her, her voice cracked. Tell her I loved her. We didn't speak for a long time after that. There was too much to say and no right words to hold it all. Eventually, Leah said, we need to go to the police. I nodded. Do you think they'll believe us? She paused. They'll have to. There's evidence now. We copied the videos to 2 separate drives. One Leah would keep, one I'd hold. Then she left, promising to meet me at the police station in the morning. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. Every creak in the apartment made me jump. Around 3:30 a.m., I thought I heard someone in the hallway. A soft shuffle. A pause. Then retreating steps. My door was locked, bolted, but still, I held my breath for a full 10 minutes. At 8 a.m., I left with the drive in my coat pocket. Leah was waiting outside the station. We walked in together, explained everything, well, almost everything to the desk officer. They listened. They took the flash drive. They promised a detective would follow up. And that's where things got strange. That night, Leah didn't answer my calls. Not unusual at first. She was probably overwhelmed. But by the next morning, her phone went straight to voicemail. I checked in with the police. No record of a report filed under Elise's name. No file. No mention of a USB. Nothing. Are you sure you came in? The officer asked, confused. There's nothing here. My stomach dropped. I raced to my apartment. My backup drive? Gone. My drawer, rifled through. The USB vanished. The phone, too. It was like I had imagined all of it. Except I hadn't. I opened my email and saw one unread message. No subject. No sender. Just a single line. You should have left it on the bus. I stared at that email like it might dissolve if I blinked hard enough. But it stayed. Black text. White screen. Threat or warning, I couldn't tell. The phone and drive were gone. Leah wasn't answering. And I was starting to feel like a ghost in my own life. I checked my apartment again. Nothing else missing. Just those 2 things. The ones that mattered. I sat down and tried to retrace my steps. Who knew what? Who had access? I didn't trust the police anymore, not after our report vanished. I tried calling other precincts, even anonymously, but there was no trace of a case, no Elise Carter, no entry with the flash drive logs. It was like we never walked in. I called Leah's work. They said she hadn't shown up. Her phone still went straight to voicemail. I debated going to her place, but a tiny voice inside me whispered, "What if they're waiting for you there?" Instead, I went to a library. Not because I needed books, but because it was public. Safe. Or so I told myself. I logged into one of the computers and pulled up the one thing I hadn't checked yet, Elise's name, just to see what might come up. Not much. A few social media traces, a LinkedIn profile that hadn't been updated in years. But then, buried deep, was a link to a local news article from 7 years ago. A domestic disturbance call. No names listed. But the photo at the bottom, blurred, grainy, showed a woman who looked an awful lot like Elise being led into an ambulance. Standing nearby, a man. Same frame. Same stillness. The man from the park photo. The one watching her. The caption read, "Victim declined to press charges." That's when I realized something. Elise didn't just hide from him, she protected him. Even when he hurt her. Maybe out of fear. Or guilt. Or love. But what scared me more than anything was the idea that she'd done all of this. Recordings, notes, hidden files, and still felt the need to run. Because that meant she knew. No one would protect her. Not even the system. Especially not the system. I logged out. Took the long way home. Walked like I was being watched. Because maybe I was. And when I reached my apartment door, there was a single envelope taped to it. No name. Just a sticker sealing the flap. It was green. My breath caught. I didn't touch it at first. I looked down the hall. Empty. The air felt too still. I peeled it off slowly and stepped inside before opening it. The envelope was unsealed. Inside, a single printed photograph, blurry, like it had been taken from a distance. But it was unmistakably me. In the coffee shop. With Leah. From 2 days ago. The angle was strange, almost tilted, like from a phone resting on a table or hip pocket. The timestamp was printed across the bottom, 11:43 a.m. I was smiling nervously. Leah was leaning forward, eyes locked on mine. The caption, scribbled on the back in jagged black ink, said, "That's when you should have stopped." I dropped it. My body felt cold. Not the surface cold of weather, but the internal kind that creeps into your bones. Someone had been there, watching us. Close enough to snap a photo. I searched my apartment again. Closet. Under the bed. Even behind the shower curtain like I was in a horror movie. No signs of break-in. No more messages. But every creak of the floor made me jump. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I tried to piece together a plan. I remembered the email address from the hotel confirmation, e.blake@wellnessfrontier.org. I checked it again, tried every archive, every mention. It was like chasing vapor. But then I found a Reddit thread, buried in an old forum about off-the-books clinics and underground services. One user, obscuretruths_86, mentioned Wellness Frontier. Just once. WF is real. Operates out of the old Mattingly building. 4th floor. No signage. You knock 4 times. They'll answer. I Googled it. The building was downtown. Condemned. Or at least, it was supposed to be. I stared at the address for a long time, debating every stupid impulse in me. Then I did the dumbest thing I've done since picking up that phone. I grabbed my coat. And I went. The Mattingly building sat wedged between a shuttered barbershop and a parking garage that reeked of stale beer and exhaust fumes. Its windows were blacked out, the kind of place you'd cross the street to avoid. Still, I walked in. The front door wasn't locked. Inside, the air was thick with dust and something faintly chemical. I made my way to the elevator, but the buttons didn't light. Of course, I found the stairs and climbed, each step groaning under my weight like the building itself didn't want company. 4th floor. I stopped outside the only door that wasn't boarded. Faded paint. Scratched brass number. 407. I knocked. 4 times. Nothing. Then, a click. The door opened just a crack. A woman's voice. "Do you have an appointment?" I swallowed. "No, but..." "I think someone I know used your services." Silence. Then, the door opened wider. The woman was older than I expected. White coat, clipboard, no nonsense. Name, Elise Carter. Her brow barely lifted. She stepped aside. "Follow me." I shouldn't have, but I did. The hallway was narrow, sterile, like a clinic out of a movie set. I passed a room labeled Memory Intake. Another said Post-Visualization. She led me into a third room. Sat me down. "You're not supposed to be here," she said flatly. "No one is unless they've signed the waiver." "She's missing," I said. "Her sister too. And I think it's because of this place." The woman tilted her head. "We don't erase people. We help them forget what hurts." What if forgetting is what put her in danger? Her lips pressed into a line. Elise made her choice. "And what about me?" I said. "I didn't choose any of this." She stood, opened a drawer, and handed me a flash drive. "This is what she left for you. But once you open it, you don't come back here. Ever." I took it. She led me to the door. "Before it closed," she said, "some truths break more than they fix. Be sure you want to know." I didn't wait. I plugged the drive into my laptop at a coffee shop with free Wi-Fi and 2 mini witnesses. It held one file, Julie_final. My name. Not Leah. Not Elise. Me. It opened to a video. Elise again, this time somewhere unfamiliar. A motel room maybe. Her eyes were glassy. "If you're watching this, it means I couldn't keep you out of it." "I'm sorry." She paused. "You probably don't remember everything. That's not your fault." My stomach turned. She kept going. "We were friends once. Years ago. You helped me leave him. You let me and Tyler stay with you. You believed me when no one else did. And when I said I was scared he'd find us, you said you'd help me disappear. But then, something happened. He found us." She looked away. "You fought him. You got hurt. I saw your blood. You don't remember because I asked them to take it from you. The whole memory. To protect you. But now he's back. and I think he's coming for Tyler. So if you found this, please remember who you were. You were brave and kind, and you never gave up on me. Please don't start now." I stopped the video. My ears rang. It wasn't possible. I had no memory of Elise. None. But I'd been having dreams. Little things. Deja vu. A boy's laugh. A swing set. A scream. What if it wasn't just imagination? What if she was right? My past wasn't lost. It had been taken. My hands trembled as I realized the weight of what I held. Someone had stolen my story. And now I had a choice. Reclaim it, or pretend it never happened. I chose to remember. I went home and replayed every second of that video. I wrote down names, places, phrases. I followed the threads. It took weeks. But slowly, things came back. Not like in the movies. No sudden flash. Just pieces. An inside joke. A coffee order. A scar I didn't know the story of. One night, I found an old voicemail in my cloud backups. From Elise. Dated 4 years ago. Her voice was soft. "You saved me, Julia. I won't forget that. Even if you have to." That was the moment I knew. I had to find her. Or at least, find out what happened. I went back to the motel in the video. It was real. Room 6 had been booked 2 weeks before under a fake name. But the manager remembered the woman and her son. Said they left one night fast. Never came back. I kept digging. Found a bus ticket in her name. Destination, Portland. I followed it. The trail was cold. But one morning, at a farmer's market, I saw a boy eating an ice cream cone. Same eyes. Same smile. He was older. But it was Tyler. Elise wasn't far behind. She didn't see me. And I didn't call out. I just watched. She was safe. He was safe. That was enough. I turned away. Walked back to my car. Sat behind the wheel with tears streaming down my face. Because sometimes, the twist isn't about what you discover. It's about what you choose to do with it. I could have made a scene. Confronted her. Asked for answers. But I remembered the way she said it. "You never gave up on me." And maybe that meant letting her live free of the past, even as I picked up the pieces of mine. I never saw her again. But sometimes, when the wind's just right, I swear I hear a boy's laugh echoing somewhere in the distance. And I like to think it's Tyler, living the life we both fought for.